What's up, BookTube? Sandy Golson back here with another video. I am getting ready to introduce my June 2021 TBR, and as you know, if history is any indication, that some of these books will be read, some probably will not. Some books that I don't talk about will probably be read, and it's going to make for an interesting, albeit unpredictable month of June 2021. But what's different than what we already do? I'll be back next. Okay, first up, I want to say, if you could, please hit the like button for the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider... Jeez. First up, I want to say, if you could, please hit the like button for this video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing that as well. Now let's get into it. The first book that I'm reading this month, that I'm actually finishing up from May, is The Class Reunion by N.L. Hinkins. I stumbled across this. It is an ebook, and so I'm definitely excited about finishing this up. It has to do with, of course, a class reunion and a private detective who returns to her Midwestern community for the first time in many years, and there's some mysterious stuff going on around this class reunion, and it ends up into being a full-blown mystery around a missing classmate. So you can see where the stage is set there. So you got some past things that have to be dealt with, as well as solving the mystery of what happened to this classmate. So it really grabbed me right off the bat. I wasn't sure. A lot of times I pick up these books that you can borrow from on your Kindle, and sometimes I read them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I take them and then I get rid of them without actually reading them. This one I started reading and I got hooked right off the bat. So that's usually a good sign that it's going to be a good read. Next up is The Next Person You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom, and this is of course a follow-up to The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, which was a classic book by Mitch Albom. And I had seen this book before. It's a really short book, fewer than 200 pages, and you can see it's a smallish size book. So I'm really excited to read this one. And the inside cover says, I'll just read a little bit of the inside cover. 15 years ago, Mitch Albom's beloved #1 bestseller, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, captivated millions of readers with a fictional tale of the afterlife and how it answers all our earthly questions. In that book, Eddie, a grizzled war veteran turned amusement park mechanic, dies saving a young girl named Annie from a tragic accident. Although he felt his life was meaningless on Earth, Eddie learns from 5 people in heaven how much his and every life matters. Now, in this long-awaited sequel, Mitch Albom reveals Annie's story and what happened next. So it's really a logical next step in the story. You can already tell it's going to be an emotional journey with this next step in the story, but it should be a very interesting read. I really enjoyed The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, so I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel. Next up is a book that I found amongst all these books that you can see here in the camera shot, and the many that are down here and back over here that you cannot see. And I saw this one, it was sitting like this, and I thought, The Sorority of Samantha. The Sorority Samantha, I guess is the title of it, by Tamara Thorne. So I saw it and I thought, that sounds kind of interesting. So let's take a look at it. At exclusive, isolated Greenbrier University, within the elite Gamma Eta Pi sorority, is a secret society known as the Fata Morgana. Its members are the most powerful women on campus and the deadliest. For this is Sisterhood of Evil, a centuries-old coven, and every girl who pledges herself to their wicked decadence does so for life or death. So it sounded kind of interesting. It's got the university setting, maybe a little bit creepy, who knows, maybe a little bit supernatural. Not really sure, but I found it. I cannot even tell you where. I have no clue where I got this book from. A lot of books I can tell you where I got it from. It was published, it looks like originally in 2003, so it's a little bit of an older book, but looking forward to reading it. Some creepy dark themes right there. Looks like maybe a university campus and maybe the ruins of what looks like maybe a church right there. So it could be interesting. The Sorority Samantha by Tamara Thorne. So we'll give it a try, see how it goes. Next up is The Ivies by a BookTube superstar, Alexa Dunn. So definitely looking forward to reading this one. It's got a little prep school thing going on, and I like this on the front of it. It says, ruthless, clever, and infectiously thrilling. I couldn't put it down. Dana Mill, author of People Like Us. So it says admissions are killers. So you got some mean girl stuff going on, and some competitiveness to get in some of the elite schools. And so I really, I'm a sucker for the prep school dynamic, the university dynamic, and this kind of combines a little bit of both. Great cover art right there, and it really just outstanding cover art. So really looking forward to reading this one. Should be a good one. Next up is a book that I've seen a lot of people talking about and seem to be excited about, and it seems to be getting really high ratings. And so I've had it for a little bit, for a few weeks, actually about a month I've had it, and that is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. So it starts off on the inside cover, 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. Poppy and Alex, Alex and Poppy, they have nothing in common. She's a wild child. He wears khakis. She has insatiable wanderlust. He prefers to stay home with a book. And somehow, ever since a fateful car share home from college many years ago, they are the very best of friends. For most of the year, they live afar apart. She's in New York City, and he's in their small hometown. But every summer for a decade, they have taken one glorious week of vacation together. Until 2 years ago, when they ruined everything. They haven't spoken since. So I'm looking forward to this one. I thought maybe it was going to be a little bit of a softer read, but there is a little bit of a mystery thing going on right there. So I don't know if it's going to be soft and fluffy, fun mystery, or if it's going to be maybe sinister, evil, or deadly mystery. So we shall see what happens, but this is definitely one I'm looking forward to reading. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Next up is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, and this sounded kind of interesting because you got a little bit of a mystery thing going on. You got some interesting family dynamics going on here, but let me just give you a little bit of the inside cover. Before Owen Michaels disappears, he manages to smuggle a note to his beloved wife of 1 year. Protect her. Despite her confusion and fear, Hannah Hall knows exactly to whom the note refers. Owen's 16-year-old daughter, Bailey. Bailey, who lost her mother tragically as a child. Bailey, who wants absolutely nothing to do with her new stepmother. As Hannah's increasingly desperate calls to Owen go unanswered, as the FBI arrests Owen's boss, as a U.S. Marshal and federal agents arrive at the Solistito home unannounced, Hannah quickly realizes her husband isn't who he said he was, and that Bailey just may hold the key to figuring out Owen's true identity and why he really disappeared. So you got some depth here to the mysteries that are going on here in this book. It sounds really good. I'm starting to hear a few more people talking about this one, so looking forward to checking this one out. The Last Thing He Told Me should be a good one. Next up is The Half God of Rainfall by Inua Ellams. And I thought that this was going to be a really interesting book because it kind of mixes some interesting, perhaps darker themes with a little bit of basketball. And so looking at doing a buddy read with my buddy Margaret Pernard. So we'll see how that goes. This should be kind of interesting. It's probably pretty close to the halfway point between what she reads and what I read. So I thought, hey, this could be an interesting buddy read. So I was definitely ready to take up the challenge, and we'll see how this goes. Should be interesting. Next up, I'm thinking about Mirrorland by Carol Johnstone. And this one, Stephen King, shouts it out here on the front cover. It says, dark and devious, beautifully written and plotted with a watchmaker's precision. On the inside cover, it says, with the startling twist of Gone Girl and the haunting emotional power of Room, a thrilling psychological suspense novel about twin sisters, the man they both love, and the dark childhood they can't leave behind. So I am a sucker again for a number of things with books, but the sister angle, the mystery, and wow, the man they both love. That's a lot to unpack here. Should be a good one. Next up this month, I'm looking at wrapping up finally the Truly Devious series with The Hand on the Wall. So I'm looking forward to this one, finishing this one up. There is another book coming up in the Truly Devious series, although it takes a little bit of a different turn apparently, that I have pre-ordered and I think comes in the month of June. So we shall see, but definitely looking forward to this one. I mentioned it before, it took me a while to decide to read the Truly Devious series, but I'm glad I did. I have really enjoyed the first 2 installments in the original trilogy, and I'm looking forward to book number 3, so we shall see how it goes. The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. And lastly, I'm looking at The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley, and this was the one that I ordered, and it just seemed kind of interesting, so I thought, yeah, why not give it a try here. Okay, so sometimes all you need is one person to really see you. Piper Parrish's life on Frick Island, a tiny remote town smack in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay, is nearly perfect. Well, aside from one pesky detail, her beloved husband Tom is dead. When Tom's crab boat capsized and his body wasn't recovered, Piper, rocked to the core, did a most peculiar thing. Carried on as if her husband were not only still alive, but right there beside her. She cooked him breakfast, walked him to the docks every morning, and met him for their standard weekly dinner date at the One-Eyed Crab. And what were the townspeople to do but go along with their beloved widowed Piper? And then there's another character that comes into it, a journalist who kind of smells a story and kind of gets really interested in it. So it just sounded kind of like creepy, kind of weird, but maybe kind of an interesting dynamic as well, and a mystery to boot. So I thought, hey, why not give it a try? And hopefully I won't be disappointed. So there you have it. It promises to be a busy month of June in terms of reading, but I'm excited about the possibilities with some good books on tap to kick off the summer officially in the month of June. Should be a lot of fun. Good luck with your reading as well. Let's have a big month of June.